Defeated by delicious fruit pie.
Are we good?
We are good. So, I want to start out this episode 150, by the way, for everybody who is definitely interested in knowing. And for those of you who don't know, it just means that you weren't here for episode 149. But apparently, over 1,000 of you were available for that one. So, it's good to see that we are getting viewership up. I do want to take care of some housekeeping. The mug of the week is That's What I Do. I drink coffee and I know things. Now I have seltzer water in it, but for intensive purposes, this is my Game of Thrones reference for the week. So you're welcome. And you'll be able to watch this after this episode. So don't worry, you didn't miss out on anything. And from what I understand, you're probably not going to miss out on anything anyway. But that's neither here nor there. And, no hate from my Game of Thrones fans. Do you watch Game of Thrones, Colin?
I need to.
Did you used to, or are you caught up? Do you know what's going on?
I know what's going on, but I don't watch it. It's just everywhere, so it's hard not to know what's going on.
That is very true. It's only in almost every news channel and paper and online thing that people talk about. So, and it's referenced all over the place. But all right, so that's enough with the Game of Thrones. I know we gave it tons of ample time, but I do want to talk about remakes. Remakes are for kings and sultans. So my first question is, why do we even want to see things remade? And I had some opinions, some potential reasons why we would want to have things remade. And I just want to run them by Colin and kind of just send those out there to you, the viewing and listening audience, if you're listening to this later on as a podcast. But my first guess is that children could appreciate a new generation of something that we grew up with. So if we really liked watching the X-Men cartoon, we would really want our kids in the future to watch a terrible trilogy of movies that are kind of like the cartoon, kind of, but not really, and then hopefully make a bunch more movies that do a much better job later. Do you think that might be one of the reasons we end up with these remakes?
Yeah, it could be that, but a lot of the time it's just people trying to make money off of something that they could easily make money by.
Oh, you went for the money grab? Yeah, that's probably true, actually. So I had, and on my list, I have specifically Disney needs to make more money, but it's not just Disney. They're all guilty of it, right? So
Yeah,
I do agree.
Marvel.
Yeah, it's definitely money. But also it could be that like special effects have improved dramatically. Like if you look at the old Lord of the Rings movies, the special effects are less than amazing. And I mean, the cartoon movie of The Hobbit was good, but if you watched like the movies, they try to do live action with like cartoon overlay or something on them, they were just god awful. So, it could be that special effects have improved.
Yeah.
I also, oh, go ahead.
In the Star Wars movies, though, I didn't like how they redid those. Because, like, with the new CGI and stuff like that kind of sucked.
Wait, what do you mean? Episode 1, 2, and 3, or the recent ones?
No, not the originals that they like modified.
Like when they redid the original 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes, that is true. That was also lackluster. That was not my favorite. And when they added the weird Jabba the Hutt scene in there, that was pretty gross. Totally unnecessary. It really did not help anything. I'm not sure what the point of that was.
It didn't need
so,
that.
What about cultural changes that could make it unique and interesting to tell the same story from a different perspective? And very specifically, what I was thinking about with this one was the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it could be that because, yeah.
Yes, because yes, this is a quotable quote. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this into my t-shirt design list. It's actually really important. I have a list of over 100 t-shirt designs, and this is something from the contest that we had talked about before. There are many of these, and you could be the winner of one of these lovely t-shirts if you actually participate by sending in on defeatedbydeliciousfruitpies@gmail.com, or you can DBDFP on Twitter. Send us your favorite either Timism or your favorite episode or your favorite thing that we've done. Maybe what you loved about the Nicolas Cage match, like something about what kind of drew you to us or how you came to find Defeated by Delicious Fruit Pies. And you might be the winner of a t-shirt that says something like, yes, because yes, with a quote from Colin.
Yes.
Congratulations, you have just made it to a t-shirt design. That is not common, by the way. I don't put those up very often. So, but yeah, so one of the things that I also think causes remakes is that we really don't have any more ideas. Like, we just kind of ran out.
We
like,
don't.
There's nothing more to make a movie about. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, because all their... I mean, the Dirt, the new Motley Crue movie, that might start a whole new jumble of movies that could be like that.
Which movie?
The Dirt, but the Motley Crue movie.
Oh, yeah.
So that could start a whole new line of movies.
I think it's just funny that you mentioned Dirt. Because Dirt. But yes, aside
but
from
after all that,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, we
Dirt.
don't have any new ideas. We just have like Jordan Peele making things that are like he's the only original person that we have right now. So,
and are you sure that he didn't steal those stories off of short stories or Twilight Zone episodes?
Yeah, well, I mean, to the media, he's original.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I mean, even Jordan Peele, it's like fresh takes on older things. You know, like kind of like in the Martian Chronicles where they have the return of the fall of the House of Usher. And the fall of the House of Usher was an original story. And then, you know, you had Ray Bradbury that kind of revisited it with the twist that it's in space. So I like that. That's not a remake. I think that is what you're saying more. It's like an homage to something that's really cool and like a different spin. But yeah, so I think there could be more ideas out there, but it's I honestly, and I'm sad to say, I think you actually win with the opinion of the day on this, which is that it makes a lot of money to do remakes. I mean, we had Spider-Man, then Spider-Man 2, then Spider-Man 3, but then we had The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then we had Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean,
and Venom.
We had Venom.
With
That's
Tom
a thing
Hardy.
I mean, like, when the theme of your movie is I'm hungry, and it's like you're taking one of the most interesting Spider-Man villains in series, and you're just turning it into, like, I'm hungry. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm
so,
hungry
okay.
Because I'm Tom Hardy.
Yes, so Tom Hardy is, in fact, Tom Hardy, and he's not Venom. I'm going to throw that out there. I mean, he's not that, like, Toby...
He's
whatever.
Bane. He's Bane. He's not...
Oh, so you want to make another Spider-Man movie, Yes. But what you didn't do is calculate that this was going to be another terrible remake story. Just more fodder for the Spider-Man 3 zone.
So, okay, but are there any other reasons that you could think of why we would even bother having another sequel or, like, another remake movie?
No.
I think we pretty much covered those.
Yeah.
So this goes to the next point. How do these remakes typically go? And I have some examples, but I wanted to start with you, Colin, to think if you had any in mind that you could just throw out there as an example of a sequel that, or a remake that either was pretty good or just really bad.
Let me think. God, there's so many, and none of them are coming to my mind.
We just, I'm looking at the comment section. It almost doesn't justify an answer. They should remake Mannequin. We talked about this, okay? We talked about this last week. We're just not. We're not doing Mannequin. You can go back and watch it. You do this to yourself at your own risk. I'm not putting it in the Spider-Man 3 zone, but...
This
what do you got?
Isn't really a remake. It's a sequel, but like the new Halloween movie that came out. That was really good. I thought that was really good.
So, okay, this is an interesting point. Is that a remake? Is that a sequel? Is it a reboot? Because does carry on the storyline after Halloween 2, but it ignores all the rest of the 18 million that they did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know what that means. That is, in a way, it's rebooting the series from the first 2 episodes, but at the same time, it really is a sequel. I mean, it has the same characters. It goes off of the idea that it's the correct amount of time that goes by. It just seems like it did well because it followed the older style. Because if you look at like Halloween, well, not Halloween 3, we just Season of the Witch has nothing to do with Halloween. But if you look at the Curse of Mike Myers and like H2O and all these other ones, they took a totally different format. And this new Halloween movie, even though it was named Halloween, which is bizarre because it's not the first movie in the series, it took it back to the format from the original. So almost remade the same format, not trying to do something new, but trying to do something old and continue the storyline. So I don't know what category that fits into, but I mean, my personal bias is that movie's fantastic. I saw that twice in the theater.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was like everything about that movie was just done so well.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting point, and actually leave that up to everybody here in the comments section and afterward. Feel free, email me, or again, like shoot me on Twitter. You can do DBDFP at DBDFP. I'd love to know what's going on. What do you think as far as that goes? Because I don't know what the answer is to that. I really don't. I think that it could be that we just call it a sequel. It could be that we call it a remake, but I don't know. It just depends. It depends on what your opinion is on that. But it is a fantastic movie. One of the awesome ones that I want to bring up is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
I haven't seen the new ones. I didn't really.
Nobody has. That's the point. Like, what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies? Those are not a thing. Those weird like Green Mutant freaks are not like the Green Mutant freaks that I remember from when I was a kid. The first Ninja Turtles movie live action was amazing, and it was dark, and it was like
hilarious.
It was serious. Well, Turtles 2 was pretty funny too. These movies, I think they're like Michael Bay. I mean, like, it looked literally like Transformers with Ninja Turtles in them.
Yeah.
So that's not a good look, and I don't understand why you would want to watch this at all. Anyway, that doesn't make any sense. Well, if you're 5, then really just have bad parents if they took you to see that movie. I think that's more of a commentary on child abuse than it is on, Michael Bay. I mean, he's kind of a known quantity. Like, you don't send your kid out into the middle of the street. You don't send your kid out to a Michael Bay film. I mean, it's like the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So one that what's that?
The one I wanted to bring up again was the new It movie.
Yes. So yeah, tell me about that, because you were talking about that a little bit off screen. Tell me about what you like about the new It movie.
I don't know like how to feel about it, because the old one was good until they got when they turned to an adult. When they all turned into adults, they can't speak, and as it just started going to hell. But
much like the book.
Yeah, but the new one I thought was pretty good. I watched it at I don't know, a year after it came out, and because I didn't really feel like going to the theater because I didn't think it was worth it, but I actually thought it was pretty decent.
Well, and you see the sequel coming out looks pretty awesome too.
Yeah, it does.
So that could be that they just took a brand. Like, what I consider It is more like Nike. Like, they just took like a recognizable brand and then they slapped it on a movie that had similar things go on in it, but that honestly is not like the source material. And now they're making an It universe, because the second one should never exist. It doesn't even make sense that it exists. But also it looks way better than even the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that. I'll go for another good one that's a straight up remake, like for real remake. The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh,
and God, as much as I hate the Return of the King's 14 endings, the movies themselves were infinitely better than the live action from, like, I don't know, the 1960s or whatever, when they were trying to draw armor and stuff on people. And God, it's just so bad. Like, it's so bad.
Those are really good.
So then there's the category of remakes, which is like what I consider every action movie, right? So every action movie has to do with, like, here's somebody that's cool or funny or that you kind of can
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, not Tom Cruise. We don't talk about Tom Cruise, but it could be, it could be a Bruce Willis,
Oh yeah.
It could be somebody that's likable, and then something happens to them, and now they have to go kill or beat up 180 people to get to the mini boss, and then they beat the mini boss, and then they have the boss, and then they save family member / girlfriend / wife / boyfriend, whatever it is that they save at the end.
Or it's a bad ending, which is like 1 in a million chance.
Right. Something that was, like, not supposed to happen. Was Death Wish good? I did not watch the new Death Wish, and here's the dilemma with the remake of the Death Wish movie. You took Charles Bronson, who was amazing and probably just this unique, wholly, and look up the Wikipedia on this guy. Like, he was actually a wholly unique individual, and he made those movies, like, ridiculous and incredible. And then you're like, oh, we're gonna remake it. When we didn't really need to remake it, we could have just done with, like, a digital remastery. But then you slap Bruce Willis on it, who's also amazing, and it's like, but we're gonna make him now try to compete with Charles Bronson. I kind of feel like it's with Heath Ledger and now Jared Leto trying to be Joker. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
How do you really handle that emotionally? I mean,
you don't.
I don't think you do. I think there's cookies and crying and showers involved. I don't think you don't really think about it. You just get emotional, and then you shut down and you don't watch anything ever again. Really, you just sit and listen to Defeated by Delicious Fruit Pies.
Yeah, exactly. That's why everyone here right now.
Right. Well, they're all here because this is after the shower, or like you're listening to this while you're in the shower crying with that box of cookies, and we appreciate you for everything you're doing. And, we're here for you and with you, and in our own way, eating cookies. We're just not, I can't pretend we're in the shower. So another one that I think is really interesting is Fern Gully had a remake, and it was called Avatar. And I don't know if this was supposed to be a remake, but it was clearly Fern Gully. It had Sigourney Weaver, and it had some mech warrior things going on, but it was pretty much just Fern Gully.
Wait, is that one movie where everybody's, like, blue and weird?
Yeah, it's the Blue People movie.
And it feels like it's, like, 7 hours long, but it's only, like, 2.
It feels like the last 14 endings of The Return of the King, just like the entire movie. It's just Fern Gully ending over and over and over again, and with no Hexus, which is kind of upsetting because that would have been actually like a cool, like, plot twist, like, what a twist to have Hexus infect the Blue People's tree. So yeah, so those are generally, I think, some examples of how remakes end up going. So
and we don't talk about the new anime movies live action that came out on Netflix.
No.
Those are just beyond anything that.
There's that other Avatar movie, The Last Airbender. Oh yeah, that was a thing. And see, this is what I'm talking about. It typically ends poorly for everyone. Like, everyone loses most of the time when it comes to a remake, except for Disney. So I feel like we kind of primed everybody for, like, this conversation. Let's get into the live action versions of Disney cartoon movies. And I want to point out, like, what's happening. So let me just pull up my props for this episode. I have Aladdin and the Lion King, original VHS in the weird plastic boxes that'll probably be here for another million years after we're long dead, and they'll dig them up and see these cases and wonder what the heck we took pictures of animals holding other animals for. So we have that, we have these two movies. And what I want to know, there's two big burning questions that I think are important to address here. The first one obviously being, is Will Smith seriously going to be a blue person in a movie?
Yes.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Like, and you're saying yeah, but I want to confirm, because here's the thing. I thought that was honestly a spoof trailer. Like, I thought it was one of those April Fool's trailers where they're like, coming this fall, Will Smith is actually a blue genie. And it's like, wait, this is real? Like, I was waiting for the punchline where they're just like, yeah, you suckers thought we were going to make this movie and Will Smith's going to be a blue genie. Ah, wait, it's real. And then I got the cookies out.
Interviewed about it.
Yeah, and why would he take an interview about that movie? Like, I would think that, like, less is more. You don't want to give away even more about the idea that, like, you're going to be blue and Aladdin in live action. I mean, and why do we need this? First of all, there's the Broadway show of Aladdin, which I have seen, and it was good, but, you know, it's kind of meant to be a cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, the flying carpet, it's kind of easier in cartoons. It's really hard on a Broadway stage. I mean, I guess it's going to be easy in a movie, but have you seen that? Have you seen the Broadway show?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're lucky. I mean, it was good. It was really good. Appreciate all you Broadway actors out there. I mean, I'm sorry that you had to do that movie and you didn't get to do the Book of Mormon, but, like, you know, we can't all win. Yeah, we just take the parts we're given.
Yeah. They're in the shower sobbing.
So, yeah, I mean, the cookies are there. Like I said, I mean, maybe it's Fig Newtons this time. I don't know how bad we're going to get with them, but, you know. Are Fig Newtons really cookies?
Do people classify them as cookies?
I don't know. I know they're in the cookie aisle, but they seem more like fig-filled cakes.
I don't know what they are. I just call them snacks.
They're just like bastardized cookie cakes. Like, they took, like, fig jelly and they just took really bland, dry cake and smashed them together like a evil Oreo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with this. Oh, hold on. Let me get back to the chat real quick. So first of all, I'm not sure why you're so afraid of Mannequin. Why am I not afraid? Why are you not afraid of Mannequin? That's what I want to know. That movie's terrifying. Just the scene where all the dummies are getting put into a chopping machine on purpose by a guy who sadistically wants to destroy this guy's girlfriend. Who does that? That's some Attack of the Killer Tomatoes kind of evil. Let's see what else. Was Death Wish good? Yeah, I talked about that. OMG, Fern Gully equals Avatar. I know. Well, yeah. Yeah. Because, yeah. Remember?
Yeah, because, yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Yes, because, yes.
Technically, The Lion King is a remake of Hamlet. Is there any original material out there? No. The answer is no. Shakespeare probably stole it from an alien. Just throwing it out there. Like, you imagine, like, the ancient Greeks, you know, like, they like, had this awesome play, and it was, like, Hamulation or something, you know, some Greek version of that name. And then, like, Shakespeare finds it, and he gets somebody to translate it, and he totally rips it off, and he's like, yeah, I'm the man. Like, all of his plays are just old Greek plays.
Probably.
And then, who cares? Fig Newtons are awesome. Well, they're still evil Oreos. I'm not gonna say they're not. They may be delicious, but
they taste good.
Yeah. But kind of like devil cake. You know, it's devil cake, but it's good. It's good. And then comparing Fig Newtons to Oreos is blasphemy. There is no blasphemy when it comes to Oreos because you can do whatever you want with an Oreo. I saw the Nabisco commercial. I'm pretty sure we're in safe territory here. So, and I think we have family that actually worked at Nabisco at some point. So I have some street cred in the cookie industry.
Oh man.
So Will Smith is going to be blue. That's really upsetting. Anyway,
I think it's a new step for humanity.
Well, do you think that he'll still be blue after the movie? Do you think that stuff is going to come off?
No. It's going to be like when Will Ferrell was dressed up like Megamind and he used spray paint.
And he's just like that for the rest of his life. And he just has to keep quoting like lines from Aladdin for the rest of his life. He actually can't say anything else anymore, and he calls everybody Al. Robin
my
Williams is
God.
rolling in his grave right now. So
I think he's like already. I think he's just disintegrated.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle seeing this movie happen if I were him. And he is always watching, just so you know, he's always watching. The Lion
there's
King is an
Jumanji.
animated live action version of the same exact animated movie. Colin, does this make sense to you?
No. No, because no.
No, because that's gonna be the back of the T-shirt. Hold on, I'm putting it in right now. Yeah, that's the front. Yes, because yes. And then the back is no, because no. Oh
I
my
need one
gosh.
of those.
That's adding in a Timism as well. It's like you're quoting Tim, but you're also doing it in your own way. It's like a remake,
Yeah.
kind of. But more like
Well, if I'm
a
quoting-
Halloween
if I'm
remake
quoting
and
Tim,
not.
I might as well like kill myself.
Yeah, but you're not Avatar because you're not Will Smith. You're more like, the good kind of remake. So,
But
like who?
One. I can't think of any.
Okay.
Any good.
It's okay. We didn't need it. We had it. We had it covered. We're good. We're
Yeah.
good. What about?
Okay.
I'm wondering if this makes sense to anybody else though. Like, what is the point of a CGI version of a movie that was already animated? Like, if they actually had animals and they just like cat actors or something that were just doing the whole thing, but they were trained animals and they're really impressive. That would be cool. But then, like, my big issue is James Earl Jones is still going to be Mufasa. So you basically want the exact same movie.
Oh,
What's that?
like 18 billion years old.
Well, I don't know how he's survived this all, but I think it's probably because he's actually Darth Vader and he's sitting in that suit and he just sits there every day and gets, rejuvenated. But I'm really worried that this is just going to be the exact same movie, but with animals instead of cartoon animals. And so now all of the other actors are all these different people's names, and yet James Earl Jones is Mufasa. Like, is Whoopi Goldberg going to be back as a hyena?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not sure what this means. I'm really not sure what it means. And then, so this brings me to my last point on this, and then we're going to get to the best of the rest. Because at the end of the day, what it seems like to me is that it's just that people don't have VCRs, and so they can't watch these VHSs. And so now they're just waiting for the new movie to come out so they can be like, oh, good, I can watch it now, instead of just, I don't know, getting a VCR. That's not hard. Is that hard? Wait, is that hard? I don't think it is.
I don't know, is it?
Maybe it is. Maybe it's very hard. Maybe I'm like one of the only people that still has like VHSs and VCRs.
I think I still have VHSs. I don't think I have a VCR anymore, though.
Why do you have VHSs if you don't have a VCR?
I don't know. Like, rotted away. With those plastic.
Because it'll be there forever. That's
plastic
true.
Cases.
Well, it'll be there forever.
Plastic cases won't be there till the end of time.
That's true. Oh, we've got nitpicky over here. James Earl Jones was never in a Darth Vader suit. Yeah, duh. But in real life, he is. That's the joke's on you. That he was actually in that suit in real life, voice acting for the guy who was not James Earl Jones in the suit as an actor. So what do you think about that? That's some insider stuff. You don't get that unless you watch the VHS and the behind the scenes stuff of Star Wars. You're welcome. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
do
you
what I can.
because thank you.
Everything because everything. Let's get to the best of the rest. I want to talk about kind of the little pieces of news and information and kind of get your take on it. The first one I want to talk about is Super Mario Maker 2 is coming. Yay, question mark. Are you excited?
Yes. Yay. Yes. Very. Mario Maker was amazing.
What do you think is going to make this one better than the first one?
Well, it's on Switch.
It's on the Switch, that's what? Well, you sound like a robot is eating you to death.
Good.
Can you check your signal real quick? Because it sounds like you're being eaten by a robot. Don't get et. Are you back with us? Colin is going to come back, hopefully, after getting eaten by a giant fish, which was really, it's not Jonah, it's Colin, so it's really a robot. So he'll come back in. He's going to jump in, and I will put him back up here. But I do want to talk about this a little bit, this Mario Maker thing. So Mario Maker was a cool game for the Wii U. For those of you who don't know a lot about video games, which is like one or two of you, the whole idea behind the Mario Maker game for the Wii U was that you could make levels for your friends, you know, and make them as hard as you can and get somebody to try to beat that level. And that's really cool. Like, that was actually, it's pretty impressive if you can get that to happen. And, you know, but you have to beat the level first, like, before you can actually save it or whatever, upload it for somebody else. So you had to actually make the level difficult enough where you think somebody else wouldn't be able to beat it, and where you know the secrets because you made the level, and then you see if they can beat it later, and then you laugh at them when they continually don't. So the second one, Mario Maker 2, is hopefully going to give more options and more availability and, you know, more things that you can do than the first one did. But the only thing that I see as maybe being an issue is the lack of a stylus, which apparently I think the game is coming with. Do you know if that's true, Colin? Are you back with us? Or did the machine actually get you? I think the machine actually got him. He may actually be et. This is one of my public service announcements also. Don't get et. So just so you know, anything that you do in life, don't get et. But anyway, so the Mario Maker 2 thing, like, it does worry me because I'm not a big fan of not having a stylus. It was one of the things that made it really easy. You could, like, move Mario up, or you could tap on him or shake him, and it would turn him into different things, or flowers, or whatever. So it was really cool. It was fun to make levels. I enjoyed playing more of other people's levels than I needed to play, you know, make my own or whatever. And I found it very tedious sometimes to make a level work right. Like, I could take like 45 minutes or an hour making a level, and you could get through it in 35 seconds, you know, like, if you live. If you don't, then, you know, you could be playing it for a couple hours too, and that could also be really funny. Colin, did I hear you? Did I just hear you? Oh, I thought I had him. All right, so let's go to the next best of the rest point. Live streaming Isaac Rebirth. Thoughts, your prayers, your suggestions, questions. I'm trying to feel out what the actual desire would be and the interest would be in me doing some live streams. You know, it would be a little bit like this, where I could go over some topics, or I could talk about some things if you want, but in the context of me playing a game that hopefully is interesting for people to watch. I chose Isaac specifically for a couple reasons. One, it's an arcade style game, so it has a lot of replay. I die a lot. I keep replaying over and over. And then the other reason is because it gives me the ability to just kind of talk about whatever. You know, it's almost mindless. Like, it's hard, but it's mindless. And so we can talk about other things, and I can read the chat while we're going through that. So that, you know, just let me know if there's other games or anything else, or what the time of the day or day of the week that you would prefer to see me do that. Like, I know that some people have time in the early morning. Some people have time, like, at a lunch break to, like, be watching, like, a live stream. And some people like to watch, like, in the evening. So let me know. Like, shoot that over to me either in the chat, or, like, you can email me, defeatedbydeliciousfruitpies@gmail.com. I'll even send that. I'm going to put that on the overlay, actually. So if you want to email us, then you can at defeatedbydeliciousfruitpies@gmail.com. So that is that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure, like, what the best game would be. I just bought World War Z, so I've got a zombie game to play. I do have Enter the Gungeon on the Switch. I have Fallout 76 on the Xbox One. I've got a bunch of games. I mean, I have a lot of games that I just don't really play even, but I would be willing to play as a live stream if it meant that, you know, people would be interested in what I was doing on that. So The next thing, I really wish slime would stop being a thing. And where's my gack? Like, what happened in Nickelodeon? Does anybody know what happened in Nickelodeon? And like, I used to get gack, which was basically just slime, but like, you bought it, and then you could like make sounds, like fart sounds with it, and you could like, and it was really like slimy, and it was cool. But you didn't like make it with glue and a bunch of other stuff in your house and ruin everything and clog the drains, and not that I know anything about that. But GAC was fun, and it was cool that there was like weird, gross stuff that used to be able to buy. Like you could buy creepy crawlers when when I was a kid. It was like you could make your own bugs, and I think you had to cook them and everything. Like it was not an easy thing to have creepy crawlers. Like I think people burn their hands and stuff like that, which is kind of funny because it's what you get for making bugs. But there was a lot of gross stuff that was really cool. And I enjoyed that kind of stuff. So I just want to know though, like when is this slime thing gonna stop? When's it gonna end? And when am I gonna get my GAC? Do you have? Oh, Colin, do you make slime? Is he back? Guess who's back? Back again. Wait, is he? Are you back, dude? I totally just heard him. He's like creeping in the background now. Maybe he's here. Maybe he's everywhere. Oh my god. He is everywhere. Actually, I can't confirm that. The next thing is backlogs and the people who love them. So if you're not familiar with what a backlog is, it's a log that you find in the back of the house and you build houses with it. Now, it's a lot of list of games that you haven't played that you own, or you buy a new game and you're like, I'll play that later when I finish up this game, and I really can't wait for this game to come out, so I'll play the beginning of it. No, I'll play the rest of that later when I finish this game. And then what happens is you end up with a really big backlog, and really big backlogs are a problem because they kind of cause a lot of issues with wanting to get new games and not really being able to. They cause a lot of problems with, letting games just kind of go by like a year. Like, I still have not gotten past the beginning of Persona 5. I know. Well, I mean, some of you don't care. Honestly, and Persona's kind of an obscure series, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's hard sometimes to have this whole backlog thing going on. I was told to ask Colin about the creepy crawler oven. Colin, I'm asking you about the creepy crawler oven. Maybe he'll answer from above. He'll tell me at some point. I used to remember the commercials of that creepy crawlers. But like they never showed the kid getting their hands burned on the commercial, which I thought would have been fair. Because like at least if you saw like, yeah, this is cool. Ow, my finger just had 3rd-degree burns. It'd be like, gotta be careful, Johnny. Like that, it'd be, I just think, better. Oh, he lost connection to the app. There he is. See, he's everywhere. He's in the chat. So Colin, in the chat, give me a quick synopsis of the creepy crawlers. I was told to ask you about this, and I will move on from the backlogs while you're doing that. So the last thing I want to talk about is John Wick and how Keanu Reeves is actually Vampire Hunter D, or Alucard. I mean, the point is he's a benevolent vampire. So if you've been following Keanu Reeves, which obviously you have, you know that there are pictures from hundreds of years ago that he's in. I mean, it's clearly him. It's Keanu Reeves. Don't listen to somebody else that they might say it is. It's clearly Keanu Reeves. So then you look at like now, and he looks exactly the same as he did like 30 years ago. So he doesn't age. I think it's clear that he's a good person. I mean, there's this documentary about him. He has a book about him and how he like takes care of people, and he's been through some stuff. But like, so it's pretty obvious he's a benevolent vampire, but he's a vampire nonetheless. And, for those of you who are just sitting there saying like, well, maybe he's just a good person. No, he's clearly got mortality issues. So I don't know what else to say about that other than that he's just a nice version of some kind of demonic or vampiric character. And hopefully he feels at least guilty when he sucks the blood out of people to stay alive forever. And maybe he curses his own father and helps the Belmont family to finally put an end to this dark time and this curse upon us all. questions and answers. I'm going to go back through the chat real quick and go and answer, hopefully, any questions I did not answer. If you do have additional questions, comments, concerns, complaints, prayers, or anything else that you'd like to give me for my live streaming and or Colin's voice connection, feel free to type that in right now, and I will run through this real quick. Secret of the Ooze is the best. Yes, it is, in fact, the best Ninja Turtles movie. It's hilarious, and it has Toka and Razar, which are really funny, and Shredder is really funny in that movie. And one of the best lines in any Ninja Turtles movie is, "Babies! The babies!" And that's like a legit line. Like, he's actually angry yelling "babies," which is just, there's something amazing about that. Let's see. Let's keep going. David Krause was the dude in the suit. Get your facts straight. Listen, I'm not going to keep arguing over Star Wars facts because, you know, when I have Lucas over and he's talking about the fact that he appreciates my VCR and the VHSs of Star Wars that I have, he talks to me about how James Earl Jones has always been in a Darth Vader suit. And in fact, he only took it off for parts of movies. If you notice in Field of Dreams, he's just talking. But it's like Spirit Anakin. Like, he's already like been taken away and he's like a blue force person, but he wears the suit in real life. I mean, I think it's pretty clear there. Gak, I missed the show Double Dare. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of experience with Nickelodeon shows, but the thing is, Nickelodeon had some cool gear. Like, they had things that were like cool, you know. They had they had Gak, they slimed people. They had this specific slime stuff. They had like little like toys and stuff that were cool. I don't know. I think Nickelodeon was cool. It was like a cool like alternative kids thing to Disney when Disney was just really like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big Mickey Mouse fan. So Nickelodeon was good. Let's see what else we got. Don't have a connection. You do have a killer VHS collection. I do. You know, honestly, I could run through the VHS collection at some point, and we can have a good time with that. I do enjoy walking through it, and you know, VHSs are just awesome to have. It's like, it's nice to be able to go through VHSs. So, all right, that's, I think, all the questions that we have for the week. So, all right, roadmap for next week. Next week, I will try to keep the same time, the 7 p.m. time, consistent, because it seems like that's a good time, and it's before people are really going and doing other things, but it's not too late where people can't listen and watch before they go to bed. I will have this edited and out at some point on Monday as a podcast, so if you are listening on iTunes, you're welcome. I already did this. This is past me telling future me and you that this will be done by Monday, and it'll be edited and up there. So this will obviously be reposted as a regular video so that it can help get more of those delicious watches, and that helps me with getting closer to my 4,000 hours and my 1,000 subscribers. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell somebody you like. Don't tell anybody you don't like. Let them know that Defeated by Delicious Fruit Pies is here and that we're putting out a whole bunch of new things. I don't have Mannequin. I do not have the VHS of Mannequin. The reason is my horror collection is actually pretty full. I don't know that I have room for Mannequin, but if I can find a spot for it, I'll get it, because it's clearly a horror movie. But otherwise, thank you all for being here this week, and if you're watching this separately, if you're watching this later on in the day or later this week, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend with us, and any other suggestions and things that you'd like to see us talk about. And as always, all guests are all welcome to come on and be a member of one of our wonderful episodes. So just feel free. Email me at defeatedbydeliciousfruitpies@gmail.com. Otherwise, until then, good luck out there with your Game of Thrones finale, and I'll see you on the other side of that, and maybe we'll do some support groups. So, thanks all.
Defeated.